Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gentlemen, I am concerned about what's happened, you know, the processes in which we find ourselves again. This has happened a number of times, to have a $3 billion shortfall on 6 weeks' notice, or we're going to jeopardize other benefits. I think it's a failure on leadership, and to be honest, I'm disappointed the secretary wasn't here. You guys are doing a good job answering the questions. But when something of this magnitude happens, and it's not the first time it happens, and it's based on, some of the concerns are based on a recent OIG, Biden administration Inspector General report over at the House Veterans Affairs Committee, I think it's really incumbent upon the secretary to be here answering questions, but I guess that didn't happen today. So appreciate you two being here. Let me read a little bit from this OIG report that just came out recently. Mr. Chairman, I think it's already in the record, but I'd like to submit it for the record. This is the September 10th Inspector General for the Veterans Affairs report. They said, quote, the OIG staff routinely finds breakdowns in processes, infrastructure, governance, leadership, and other failings that erode the foundations of elements of accountability at the VA. These breakdowns impede the VA's efforts to make certain that patients receive timely, high-quality health care and that veterans and other eligible beneficiaries are afforded the compensation and services they are owed. Have you guys, any of you read this?
Yes, Senator.
What do you think of that statement?
I think the OIG helps us improve every single day, and it's incumbent upon us to implement all of their recommendations in the healthcare system to make our services and healthcare more reliable. I will say, Senator, that I'm proud of our overall outcomes on average when it comes to veteran trust, an all-time high of 92% for outpatient care, beating the private sector for the 9th consecutive quarter in the row for inpatient care. But there are definitely areas where we need to improve, and it's part of one of the most important parts of my job to implement IG.
Let me go to the issue of accountability, because I think they talk a lot about leadership and accountability. They talk about the need for a sustained effort to change the culture at the VA, that the VA where leadership management officials are often not held accountable. That's, again, the OIG. I recently introduced legislation called the Pro-Vets Act. I already have 14 co-sponsors, 5 of which are members of this committee. One of the things it says is that it goes into the issue of accountability. By building on quarterly report requirements that were included in the House bill last night, by requiring an in-person briefing from the secretary on these accountability requirements, would the VA be okay with that? That's leadership, that's accountability, coming before this committee. That's what I'm trying to get done right now as we speak. I think just throwing $3 billion right now, hey, Congress, you got 3 days for $3 billion without any accountability reforms kind of misses the point. Or would you be okay with that? Quarterly from the secretary on accountability? Supposed to be doing it anyways.
So, Senator, obviously we'll review that bill closely, work with you on technical assistance.
Let me do another one, which is if there's a VA shortfall outside regular order, this is in my bill, then the staff responsible for the budget in both OMB and the VA would not qualify for a bonus. Would you be okay with that one?
Pending legislation, Senator, we'll look at it and make sure we offer technical
So I'm
assistance
trying to get at this issue, Mr. Secretary, Mr. Undersecretary. The VA gave out $11 million in improper bonuses in May of this year. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, Senator, and there were mistakes across the agency. I made personal mistakes in not understanding exactly how many awards were ultimately approved. But
was anyone held accountable or fired or relieved of duty? If you mentioned the private sector. Private sector company came out with $11 million in improper bonuses to the employees, and then came to their board of directors, which is what we are, your board of directors, saying, oops, we need $3 billion more. Those people would be fired. Was anyone held accountable for the $11 million in improper bonuses coming out of the VA? Anybody?
We concurred with the IG's recommendation to evaluate for possible discipline.
Not answer my question. Was anyone held responsible for the $11 million of improper bonuses paid out by the VA?
The Office of Accountability and Whistleblower Protection will help us with that question, Senator, once
the
they
answer is
complete
no?
their analysis.
Right now, the answer is
Not yet, Senator. We have to wait for that.
okay.
analysis.
This is why, look, I have more veterans per capita. I work with the VA all the time, but this is why some veterans, and even on this, right, we're scrambling $3 billion, or veterans aren't going to get their benefits. Well, we don't want that to happen. We'll work through this. But there should be accountability. Don't you guys agree? I know you're spinning this as, hey, this is a great victory. It's not a great victory. Come on. We're scrambling at the end of the Congress here to get $3 billion, or my constituents won't get their VA benefits. That is not a great victory. So I wish you would quit spinning it that way. It's a failure in leadership and management. And don't you think if we're going to do $3 billion again, I forgot what the Denver hospital was, Senator King, and we all worked on that one, if you remember. Last minute, we got to fund this hospital, $3 billion, I think it was, that there should be accountability standards when we're doing this. I think we're becoming numb to this, and I don't think that's a good thing for this committee in terms of oversight. So should there be any additional accountability measures as we work to quickly scramble for $3 billion to make sure veterans in Connecticut and Maine and Alaska don't get cut off here in the next couple weeks? Should there be? Would you guys entertain them? Take a look at my bill?
Senator, we'd be happy to take a look at your bill and follow up with you and your staff to talk about it once we've had a chance to review it.
Okay. I have some questions for the record, Mr. Chairman, but I appreciate that. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.